Hi, I'm Emily from Chasing Simple, and if the signs of spring are all around you, birds chirping, leaves budding, it's so exciting, and I'm sure you're wanting to bring some people into your home after the doldrums of winter. So join me today. I'm going to be hosting a little spring party with girlfriends and doing just a simple dinner and then also some flower arranging. I have the whole game plan and menu for you linked down below in a free printable, so be sure to check that out below. I know I have a lot of new subscribers here and I certainly welcome you, so thanks so much for being here. I'm hoping to share today some really easy, entertaining tips for you so that you can make your guests feel really special without really a heart to impress. Hosting isn't about you, it's about your guests and how you make them feel. And so this is a super easy, low bar prep party where you are not having to do a bunch of work when your guests are here. You get to do most of this prep in advance, and even that prep is super easy. So I kind of got inspired for this menu with a menu that is in the Celebrations cookbook by Danielle Walker. It's a really allergy-friendly cookbook, but it's very delicious. It's her Mother's Day menu, and so some of the recipe inspiration is coming from that. I've adapted some of those recipes, so you may want to pick up that cookbook for the specific recipes, or you can just kind of follow the method. One of the things that I really try to do when I'm entertaining is just think through how I can make it really easy, because I'm more likely to entertain when it's easy. So if you've been with me this month, you've been spring cleaning and spring decorating your home alongside me, and I hope that you are feeling like your house is as prepared as mine is to let people in. And of course, you can let people into your home in any condition, and I'd encourage you to do so. Don't let your home be a barrier to having people come in. But I do think that when your home is clean and when your home feels decorated for the season, it is that much more inviting to bring people into your home. So I hope you're feeling the same way, and that this party will give you a great tool for bringing those people in. So today I wanted to get my party prep started, and so this is the day before the party, and what I did was I did a couple of errands. I ran to Trader Joe's and picked up flowers. Our Trader Joe's also sells alcohol, so I picked up a bottle of Riesling for the sangria, and then I picked up some lemon curd. And then I also hit Whole Foods. They sell edible flowers, and if you're in an area where it's warm enough that you could pick up pansies or something like that from your garden center, great, you could do that as well. But I picked them up from Whole Foods because we're not warm enough here for the garden centers to be selling that sort of thing yet. So on today's menu, I will be serving a completely make-ahead meal, and that is an asparagus soup with a poached egg, and then a grilled chicken salad with strawberries and pansies. And then for dessert, we'll be having pavlova with berries. And so you can make all of these things in advance, and I definitely would recommend that you do. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm hosting people is just to think about my guest experience. And so I want them to feel really relaxed when they come into my home. And so that means I need to be a relaxed host. And for me, that means I don't want to be cooking when my guests are here. So the day before the party, I have set my table. And since my house was kind of already decorated for spring, which you can see in that, you can see me do my spring decorating in the video that's linked above, then my table was really pretty much already set. And so I was able to just add a couple of things onto the table, and then I was ready to enjoy guests. And I just needed to get my serving pieces down. And I always think it's nice to pull your serving pieces down in advance because it just helps you to make sure that you're prepared. For example, I was making a pitcher drink, and I wanted to make sure that the pitcher was large enough to hold a bottle of wine plus the items that I was adding to it. And so I was able to just quickly fill a glass measuring cup with the amount of liquid that was in the wine bottle and pour it into the pitcher just to make sure, so that I wasn't having to make a last minute switch on the day of. And then also in advance, you can make the pavlovas, which you just whip together kind of like a meringue and then bake them in the oven. And you can slice all of the berries, you can whip the cream, and I used store-bought lemon curd. And so all of that is prepared in advance. You can make the salad dressing in advance. You can make the entire soup in advance. And you just saute potato and asparagus together with leeks and add chicken broth to that. And then you give that a quick spin with your immersion blender. And then you can prep poached eggs in advance as well. So I don't poach them in advance, but I do use an oven method, and this is amazing. This will change the way you brunch for sure. But you can just use a muffin tin. I like to use little silicone liners just because it makes the muffin tin easier to clean out later. But you just put an egg and a tablespoon of water in each one of those, and then a little splash of vinegar. And then they can just go into your fridge until the next day when you're ready to poach them right before your guests arrive. And then the salad dressing also serves as your marinade. This is a quick marinade. You just need to marinate for about 20 minutes because it does contain acid, so it has red vinegar in it. And so you don't want it to, make your chicken tough. So you just want to do the marinade real briefly. And then you can assemble the salads before your guests arrive. So it is a super easy menu, and really everything can be done in advance. So on the day of the party, then when your guests are going to be here in about 45 minutes, that's when you'll want to start pulling things out of the fridge that you'd prepared the day before. And you'll want to go ahead and grill your chicken. And I just did kind of like a par grill on it, like just to give it color. And then I stuck it in the oven when my guests arrived to finish cooking. That way I could serve it warm, but it wasn't overcooked. And then it had like the really beautiful char of the grill on it. I almost also lit my house on fire while I was doing that because I meant to grill it outside, but it was so windy and I couldn't get the propane tank to start. And so I just used a grill pan and just, set off my fire alarm before people got here. But because I had done so much in advance, then I was just ready for those sorts of accidents to happen in my house, So no big deal. And gratefully, it just smelled like it burned my house down when my guests got here, which nothing says welcome like a burned down house. Am I right? And then I just needed to mix up the drink. And it's such a good idea to do a pitcher drink. And so if you're going to do some kind of specialty drink, then highly recommend a pitcher drink. So what I did was a sangria. So I just used a white wine. I used Riesling. And then I pureed some frozen peaches with honey and mixed that into the white wine. And then I added some Olipop ginger ale to that pitcher. And then I just put in the glasses a couple of frozen peach slices, some ice, and a couple of raspberries and mint, and then poured that over it. And then if you want a mocktail option, you could just leave out the wine and just do the ginger ale over those garnishes, and that would be super easy to do as well. But by doing that, and then I just did fruited water, so you just add sliced fruit and mint to water, then it just makes it really pretty on your table, and those are two easy drink options to offer. The nature of this meal, you have a soup that has a poached egg on top, and so you kind of have to time it so that when your guests are arriving, you're kind of pulling the eggs out of the oven and getting that going. And so the specialty drink, I think, is kind of enough to keep people busy and enjoying themselves, and then you'll serve the meal right away rather than any kind of starter, which I think is kind of nice when you're serving dessert because people are just too full if you serve a starter as well. And so what I do is the eggs take about 10 minutes to poach in the oven. So the time that my party is supposed to start, so if my party was starting at 6, I go ahead and put the eggs in the oven at that time. And that means that my eggs will be pretty much perfectly cooked by the time my last guest arrives. And that works great because most people are gonna arrive, kind of a few minutes late as a courtesy to you, so that you have time to prepare everything. They're not going to show up right at the time that your party starts. But that way you can kind of be plating up the soup as your guests are walking in, and then you can sit down to eat right away. And it's a beautiful, vibrant green soup, and it's really kind of light because it's really just mostly vegetables and broth. So it's delicious. And then the poached egg is just really kind of a fun, impressive little springy touch. And then after that, I did spinach salads with almond and strawberries. And then I used the edible flowers from Whole Foods on top of that. And then I put grilled chicken on the plate along with that. And I served the grilled chicken warm, and then of course the salad's cold. But it was a lovely, fresh ingredients. And then my friends and I did some flower arranging. So I just picked up several bouquets of flowers at Trader Joe's and had them available to my guests. I asked them all to bring a vase, and then everyone was able to just kind of pick and choose from the things that I had picked up to make their own spring arrangement. And, you know, I'm terrible at this, but my friends are good at this. And so I had fun learning from them, and we just had fun making this happen. I think that doing things that are kind of all in one color palette really helps for you to have a beautiful arrangement, so that it doesn't feel like you've got too much going on. Another tip that one of my guests who's super good at this shared was, if there's something that's like more delicate or a smaller flower, to add that at the end. So for example, we had some really pretty hyacinth flowers, and we kind of dotted those in at the very end, and then it really made it beautiful. And then after we did our flower arranging, then I served the pavlovas. You can make these completely in advance. It's a meringue that you make, and then you can have those sitting out on a little cake tray. And then when it's time to serve dessert, you just put a dollop of lemon curd on them, and then a couple tablespoons of whipped cream, and then top that with sliced strawberries and raspberries. And it makes for a beautiful dessert that is kind of light and enjoyable for your guests. All of my guests really raved about it. They said it was delicious and fresh. And so I had a great time making that with my son, and then a great time serving it as well. So this is a super easy party. I hope that you will try this as well, and that you will invite your friends over. Your home is ready for it, and so why not host? So I hope that you will find the printable down below and replicate this party for yourself. And if you haven't already, would you like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future videos? Thanks so much for joining me today. Happy spring.